You don't have to do this, buddy. You don't have to. Bigger picture. Stop.
So how did I end up in this state, fighting for my life in a race that should have been my big pro runner breakthrough? Well, it's been 6 months in the making and I'm finally heading out to Valencia, where I'm taking on some of the world's best runners and attempting to crush my 2:14 marathon PB from Tokyo. And speaking of which, I was missing the Japanese scran already, so I had to kickstart the carbo load with a taste of home. Then in no time, we touched down on the sunny streets of España and I got to work preparing for war. We are in Valencia. We have arrived. It's looking bloody good out here. Ideal for a holiday, maybe not quite so much for a race. So this is gonna be another battle for survival. You know by now that I'm just not built for the heat, but I think tomorrow in the morning, it should hopefully not be too bad. So I talked about in the last video my Valencia game plan, and that hasn't changed. I think I'm gonna stick to the plan, sub 2:12 pace, and then try and cut it down in the second half, try and dip under, smash my PB. But I think today a sub 2:10 is just going to be a little bit too feisty. So for once this time, I am taking the sensible race approach. Now, I never thought I'd be uttering those words, but the plan is run smarter, not harder, as I've adjusted my paces for the conditions. Now, in the last episode, I introduced a few side characters to the channel, and my #1 fans are coming out to Valencia to support. In return, I had to treat them to a special Scran extravaganza, courtesy of Miss Ran to Japan. We've got a Scran to Japan taste testing. We've got these foreigners tasting some snacks.
Press butter and sand.
Press butter sand. Is it? I don't think I've ever had one of these.
Oh my god, fortune cookie flavour on the outside.
Yeah.
And then amazing heaven in the middle.
That's good.
Oh my god, this guy's loving it.
That is good.
Unbelievable.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, she's gone straight for it.
Nice.
Do you remember the last video you were in? You went viral as the mum meme.
Tell him, Mum.
Yeah, no one's as good as Jake. Yay, Jakey!
Oh my god, if you put that in the video, your mum's gonna be ridiculed online forever.
Mum becomes a global meme.
I think you might have just pulled out another banger right there. Okay, we need scores for the butter sando. Rapid fire.
8.5.
Oh.
9.6.
Oh.
7.9. 9.2.
So tell me, why do you hate the Japanese people?
I don't.
7.9.
10.
What the hell? It's like a thin straw.
Oh, I think I've had one of these.
Oh no.
Go on, give it a go. This is the camembert.
Biscuit. Sweet, but with a certain cheesiness.
With a Japanese essence. Can you taste the Japanese in it?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the sweet savoury combination.
Oh, he hates the country. Oh, he hated the butter sand and now he hates these. You're going to be getting death threats after this video.
I feel bad just sort of ripping into it as if it's sort of like never eaten.
Oh yeah, I've got a question, Mum. So the last time you featured on my channel, I asked you all a question. I said, what are you bringing to the table? Let me ask you again. What are you bringing to the table?
Oh gosh, a calm presence. Move the camera, please.
What's going on here? They're attacking the gummies.
Those are great, the sour.
Sour grape.
They're kind of sweet and sour.
Yeah, I'm not sure about those.
Oh, oh my god! 3 for 3! We've just exposed this racist bastard here. So these are some seafood crackers, rice crackers. Absolutely unreal.
Yeah, score them the doors.
Wow, that's so good.
Oh, the face doesn't lie. He's faking it. No, that's your real thoughts.
9.8.
Oh!
9.2.
But the big question would be, how is my dad going to survive in Valencia without his daily dose of fermented at-home beans? All right, the people are all going to be wondering, where's the natto?
We're in a hotel.
The natto man. You must be devastated.
Yeah, I'm not happy.
I look like a freak.
Why?
Well, it's an unusual breakfast. I've got a bit of pineapples and nuts.
I'd say it's slightly more normal than making your own natto.
The natto gives me longevity.
And then I've gone for a carb-heavy combo. A few little cakes in there, bit of Nutella pancake, some veg, egg. This is obviously round 1. We'll come back multiple times. Coffee, little condensed milk with a bit of extra sugar, and the carbo load commences. So this looks a bit different to my usual pre-marathon fueling in Japan, which is 90% rice, but I guess carbs are carbs. And now let's see how I'm getting on with this taper. Because I feel like I'm coming here in good shape, and actually these last few days, or even like the last week or so, cutting down my weekly mileage to like 210k last week, and then race week itself, I'll probably hit 160k or so, so like 100 miles, like including the marathon itself, which for me just felt like I've done nothing. The legs are feeling nice and fresh right now. And it's funny, I've noticed my easy runs especially have just naturally got quicker. I'm usually like 4:30 per K cap, no quicker than that on an easy day. It's not like I'm actively keeping it slow, it's just I'm so banged up that that is the quickest I can go and feel comfy. But now I'm absolutely flying, like 4:10, 4:20. I'm even dipping under that 7-minute miling mark on my easy days, which is a crazy sign and shows that I'm feeling nice and fresh. And in the morning, I hit a shakeout with a special guest.
Okay, I'm here with fellow British YouTube royalty.
I don't know about royalty.
Yeah, there we go. What an intro. How are we doing, Cole?
I'm good.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
And it turns out this vicious rivalry between us has been long in the making.
We've met once before at Battersea Park, and it was before I went out to Japan. You didn't remember, I don't think.
I had no clue.
I was just a diehard
I was too big
fanboy.
time.
Yeah.
I know it's the roles of reverse.
He didn't have time for the peasants back then, but yeah, we met and I think we finished within about a second of each other. Yeah, this is way before I started YouTube. Cole's been on it for how long?
4 years.
Big time.
That's depressing when you say that.
Why? An OG in the game.
An average of maybe a subscriber a day.
No, it's a slow burn. And what's the plan for Valencia? How are we feeling?
I'm kind of like midway between my London fitness and my like Berlin fitness.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm hoping for like a low 220, 222, 223, something like that. But as long as I get through injury free, gut issues free, then
Big
it'll
win.
be a good day.
Because
Yeah.
London was crazy. That debut 216.
I appreciate that.
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Everyone's said so many kind things about it. But I think I just kind of fluked it, to be honest.
I don't know if you can fluke a 216, but so what's the plan? Just build up slowly, get back to that.
Start 225 pace tomorrow, see where I finish off, and then yeah, hopefully be back in PB shape before London for next year.
Beautiful. Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah.
I might. No official announcement yet, but maybe I see you out there in
Have a little
London.
showdown.
Yeah, we can rip it up there. But yeah, give Cole's channel a watch if you haven't already.
Appreciate that a lot.
There we go.
I'm crowd farming big
Yeah,
time right now.
Run Japan Army, do your thing. Let's go.
So I'm now in classic race prep mode. I've got everything laid out here. I'm trying to organize all my drinks, all the fluids, what I'm getting in on race day. Let me talk you through all of this. So firstly, we've got the classic Brooks vest, got my Hyperion 5 shoes, and I've also got my shoe socks to match. So they hooked me up with one of their long run marathon packs, which comes in this cheeky shoe box and features a mix of training and racing socks. They have a pair to match all of the major shoe brands out there. So whatever your weapon of choice is on race day, they've got you covered. And you can get a discount by hitting my link down below. So thanks to Shoe for supporting this video. And then in terms of fluids, so we've got, starting off 3 hours before, I've got my Nomio shot for that lactic buffer. Now I don't have elite drink bottles, so I'm just gonna be sipping on this as I lead up to the race. Get a bit of caffeine and carbs in. Then in terms of gels, we've just got a random selection. So I'm gonna go 6 gels, carry these with me as I run, just in my pockets. And then I'm just gonna rely on those paper cups that they give you, so I can just be topping up on them. I've practiced a lot with this, like all those local Japanese races I've done recently. I haven't had elite bottles for them, so this is basically great prep for today, because actually to get into the official elite field, you pretty much had to run the Olympic standard. Like Valencia Marathon is a joke. So I'm actually a sub-elite, and you can see my number here, 118, legendary number there. And that means with my 214 PB, I'm only ranked 118th coming into this. So I'm probably gonna have to pull up a PB just to squeeze into the top 100. There is no other race like this on earth. So now I'm all laid out, I'm sorted, good to go. Let's tune into the race technical meeting and we can have a look. Maybe then announce some pace groups, because that's the biggest thing. I just hope I've got a squad to run with. So they've just dropped some key info here. We've got the forecast. That's gonna be the make or break for this race. And it's not looking quite as bad as we thought. So it is gonna be sunny and with a light wind, but at the start it's 13 degrees and by the end they're saying about 16. The big thing though is how much sun protection there is, because I don't know what it is for me. As soon as the sun touches my skin, it's like the temperature just goes up by about 10 degrees. I'm basically just allergic to the sun. So the key thing is gonna be, are there buildings? Are we gonna get a bit of protection? But now let's see if they get to the pacemakers. Cool, so they're aiming for the top boys. They're trying to get the world lead for the women and men. So that's a 202 and a 214 for the women. And then, yeah, it's a tough one, but as expected, there's gonna be no 212 pacemaker. It looks like the slowest is going at 209. And that's just a little bit too spicy for me. So there's gonna be no official pace group, but I've just got to hope that a group forms around me. And after the medical tent disaster at Tokyo Marathon, my dad came up with this genius strategy to beat the heat this time, and was clearly delighted when I pulled out the camera to film it.
People don't think I'm some fucking mad scientist.
Yeah, but this is the truth.
No, listen.
Okay.
This is because you wanted ice cubes.
Yeah,
I was thinking, oh, we give ice cubes. Like, they'll slip out, you know, how do I deliver ice cubes?
Okay, hold up.
You're absolute genius. Ice lollies. No, I tell you why it's genius. We just hold them like that. You grab them, look at the perfect shape for the hand. There's lots of surface.
Can we remove the stick before I run with it?
No, because we will hold it so you can just grab it and move on. Otherwise, how do I hold an ice block for you?
And while outside assistance during a marathon is banned when it comes to fueling, it seems the ice lolly strategy was foolproof. So it looks like they've got some bizarre rule where you can get given sponges, ice cubes, ice blocks. As long as I don't eat them, then I'm fine. But I just can't be given gels, nutrition, anything like that. So we're thinking that my family are just gonna be out on the course, a couple of different places, hand me the ice lollies on the go, and I can hold them in my hands. And actually I did this at Hokkaido Marathon where it was like 25 degrees and it was a game changer. So we're pulling out all the stops for this. Some last minute heat prevention measures. But that wasn't all.
It's gonna work. Show them the plan. So what's meant to happen?
Well, you wear it on your head, it keeps you cool.
Give us a test. Perfect.
We should have shaped it more to
Nailed it.
So with my frozen cap and ice lollies sorted, my support team went to work planning out their course strategy.
3, 2, 1.
Good luck, Jakey.
Good luck, Jay.
Now I was tucked up in bed nice and early, knowing that all the boxes had been ticked in this Valencia Marathon build, and all that was left to do was leave it all out there on the course.
A very warm welcome, and we are delighted you're joining us for the Valencia Marathon Trinidad Alfonso Zurich 2025 with an elite field of almost 400 athletes, including some of the world's best.
We are T-minus 10 minutes to the start, and don't worry, FamCam's going to be here throughout the whole race. Smile, guys. So, in last week's video, there was a fan favourite. All the comments were completely obsessed with Smudge Fox. So Jake wouldn't tell you this because he's shy, but he brings this toy to every single run. This is Smudge Fox. It's a really important toy to him, so he brings it to every session to help, and it's good luck, but he is embarrassed to tell you guys. And I can confirm, he's come out to Spain, he's here on race day. Last night I saw Jake tucking him into bed, kissing him on the head. We've taken him on the course, we're just gonna hold him up, and Jake's just gonna run towards him, and that's what's gonna motivate Jake to do the race. Go Jake, go Jake, go Jake.
So what more encouragement do I need than a toy fox, which I definitely bring to all my races?
We are just a few seconds away from the start of the 2025 Valencia Marathon.
And there the gun fires to set off the first wave, including the elites.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Months and months, slogging out the miles, 40k every day, all in prep for this. And oh geez, why do I feel horrendous? So I tried settling into the group here and like finding that rhythm. So you remember the pace that I need for that 2:12 marathon is 3:08 per K. And I'm trying to beat the Kaizen predictions. You know, I managed to defy the odds at Gold Coast, dipped under that sub 2:20. And this time they had me coming in at that 2:14 shape, but I hadn't come all the way to Valencia just to equal my PB. And I wanted to take another jump up those British rankings.
As a mother, your motherly instinct's freaking out.
I'm a bit nervous.
Okay, right.
So the first 5k here is about settling into pace, like finding that rhythm, trying to get a group, squad that's running that same pace. And I managed to find this little subgroup. So it was like the big sort of pace groups of maybe like 20 people in, and then there was this small group of us going at that 2:12 pace. And the first few Ks, I'm on track in terms of pace. So it's like averaging, yeah, around that 3:07 per K, bang through 5k, spot on that sub 2:12 with like a 15:36, I think it was. But at this point, I feel like I'm working really hard, as in way too hard. This is feeling almost flat out. And I know that this pace isn't too fast. Like I've done it countless times in training. I know this is a doable race pace. But for some reason, this early into the race, I'm feeling like I'm flat out close to redlining. Never a great sign when you're, what, a 10th of the way into the race. And I'm hoping this is maybe just a rough patch. Like marathons are so long, there's gonna be sections where you feel horrendous. Usually they come later, like 30k, 25k. I've never had it this early in a marathon. Usually you'd want to be feeling completely relaxed and comfy. And looking at my heart rate, it's pretty standard, like it's under 180. And during marathons, I'm usually averaging like 185. Like I've even been up to 190 during Gold Coast before. So I can push it way up and it shouldn't be this hard, but right now I'm struggling.
I thought he looked nervous.
Well, they all look tired. It's hot. They're working hard already. They've done 5-6 miles. It's bloody hard.
Yeah, I just thought he looks so much bigger than the others that come before, the ones that were running just in front of him.
And even my parents here can tell that I just don't look right. So I thought maybe I still look normal, but clearly, like watching these videos back, I look so laboured. There's no pop in my step and I just look heavy. Like not literally, I'm the same weight I've been for 2 years, but I'm running heavy. I just don't look smooth at all. It's almost like I'm collapsing at the hips. Like usually when I'm running well and I'm in my best shape, I'm popping, like I'm explosive. But here there's absolutely no pop. It's pure cart horse here and just sort of grinding along, like looking rough. And I managed to go through 10K still on that 2:12 pace, like just about hitting those 3:07s, 3:08s, and it's all pretty even splits, but I'm working so hard at this point. And I know already, yeah, this is not gonna be my day. No way, this is gonna be an absolute slog.
So he's just gone past the 10K point. We thought he looked a little tired, but it is quite hot already. It's like 14 degrees. We've got our ice lollies ready for 15K. And we're just heading there now.
And I know I'd been a bit worried about the weather, and it looks like my family here were thinking, oh, maybe it's because it's hot, but actually I didn't really feel the heat at all. In the first sort of 3K, I felt absolutely boiling. Like I felt like I was, yeah, way overheated. But then also went the other way, and from about 5K onwards, I started getting really cold. So clearly something is not right at all from the start. And I don't think some ice lollies here are gonna save me. I'm in a whole world of trouble now. I'm just trying to claw into this group now. I know if I get separated, it's gonna be so tough, but I'm working so hard, and I'm in the back of my mind just knowing, yeah, we're barely a fraction into the race. Like we're a quarter of the way there, and it feels like I'm kicking for home. Like it's that kind of effort now. And this is actually the exact same feeling I had when I was badly anemic before. So it's where I feel like I'm running flat out, I'm kicking, I'm sprinting, but my heart rate's not that high. It doesn't look like I should be working hard, although this is like flat out on the day. It's like this invisible cap, the anemia, where I guess because the red blood cells, they just can't transport the oxygen around. You're literally just limited by that. It doesn't matter how hard you push, even though your body's capable of going way quicker. That's such a big limiting factor there. And so this could be what's going on now.
The ice lollies are there.
Dad's on the left!
Dad's up there, just on the left.
Dad's up there!
Keep going.
Dad's just on the left with the ice!
Nice. Oh, fuck!
Nice. Oh, fuck. Great reaction there from my sister. So yeah, as you can tell, the ice could not have gone worse. I think I just ran through it. Like my dad's standing still holding these out, and I've just run full pelt and just destroyed these ice cubes. I guess they maybe slipped straight out my hand or what, but it sounded like a great idea, but the actual execution just wasn't quite there. But to be honest, a few little ice blocks were not going to make the difference now.
We're warming up the block
I've got
of
a
ice.
block of ice on my head that I'm trying to
Just
melt.
show what it is so people understand.
I've seen
There's
it.
no flexibility at all.
So he's trying to, we're trying to warm
like
it
a
up
rock.
into a head shape. So
like
we just,
an army
but
helmet.
let's talk about what happened there. We tried to deliver the ice cubes.
Oh, it was just awful. It was like he pushed them away. I think he tried to grab them, but it just
So,
no
and
good.
yeah,
Shattered into a million
It was such
pieces.
a good idea in theory.
total fail.
In practice, a total disaster.
So I've been holding pace somehow up till now, even though I was basically flat out from about 3K in. I've made it to just before 20K on that 2:12 pace, but then we see the split start to drop, and that's when I fall off the group, find myself in no man's land, and I'm absolutely clawing. I'm giving it everything, even though I'm not even halfway through here, but I just cannot go any quicker, and I know that things are going to deteriorate very quickly from this point. My halfway split was around 66:30, so I'm now at around 2:13 pace. So you can see on this live stream just the grimace. I'm in so much pain here, but I can't describe the feeling. Like just I'm in agony, everything is hurting, and I'm just desperately trying to claw on.
We all need a little bit of reassurance and smudge box at a stressful time. How are you both feeling, you guys?
Tense. I'm not enjoying it very much.
Oh, why? Worrying?
Yeah, I'm worried.
Yeah.
Well done, Jake. Dad's just up there with the cap. If you want it, Dad's on the right. Dad's on the right with the cap.
Now I remember hearing the voices, like my mum shouting something about the cap, but I think by this point I'm already starting to kind of lose vision, like things are starting to go dizzy, like blurry, and I can't really take in what's going on around me. So I think my sister came out to give me the cap, and I sort of pushed her away because, yeah, I just wasn't even thinking or anything. Like I knew that some ice cap was not going to save me today.
Where is he? Where the fuck is he? He's on his own. He's on his own. He's on his own. Oh, come on, Jake. He looks, no, he's struggling. He's fucked. No. He looks struggling, he's struggling, he's struggling.
Now I'm going to warn that the clips from now on aren't exactly the prettiest. Things get very, very messy, and I've basically completely lost consciousness, really. Like, I can't see much, can't really hear much. I'm not even in a state to be able to stop, really. Like, obviously, this is not my day. Something's gone really wrong here, and I should have pulled out. But I think in the moment when I'm racing, I remember the same thing with Tokyo Marathon. I know this sounds insane. People aren't going to be able to understand this, and I'm not saying that this is the right thing. I'm purely just giving my honest, complete honest opinion and how I feel genuinely during a race. But in the moment when I'm hurting, I'm just willing to give absolutely everything. As in, I'm literally willing to kill myself to get to that line. I know it's completely psychotic, and obviously looking back now, like, it's not worth causing long-term harm, but in the moment when I'm racing, to me, there's nothing more important than just getting to that finish line, and I don't care about what damage or anything's gonna happen.
Oh, we're just really upset. He's just got, we think he's gonna drop out.
Yeah, he went past and like his eyes were closed, and I think it's
just horrible seeing him really in pain, and we're kind of worried that he's going to collapse or. Yeah. Anyway, Chris's dad's gone on to try and catch up with him in case he pulls off the course. We're just worried about him with his health, really.
And I think that's why my family are clearly so upset and worried, because they know basically my mindset that this is how I think, and I can't change that. But they know I'm willing to push way past the point of like a normal person where they'll hurt themselves, like they'll push hard. Whereas I'm willing to actually do harm to myself to try and get to that finish as quick as possible.
Come on, Jake!
He's in the world.
Yeah, he's dead.
You okay? You okay? Okay. You don't have to do this, buddy. You don't have to. You don't have to. Bigger picture. Bigger picture. Go into it. Stop, stop, stop. Man, I'm actually worried for him. The marathon is just absolutely brutal, guys.
So that was actually Nick Bester there, who slowed down during his race and was checking I was okay. Like, absolute legend there. And I had so many people as well. Like, I remember the shouts of like, are you okay? Like, slow down, stop, stop, stop. But I'm just not in a state where I'm able to listen or take any of that in. You can see my eyes are completely gone. Like, I can't see or hear really anything. But on a lighter note, way up the road, we had a few absolute animals coming in here and conquering the marathon, making the distance fear them. A few of my personal highlights would be Suguru Osako. So he here smashed the Japanese record. He dipped under it by 1 second, but he's a bit of a legend, 2:04. And I've seen him so many times in Yoyogi Park jogging round. So he's a proper local as well, lives near me. And he's retired previously. He's like 35 now. He's broken the Japanese record 3 times, had it taken off him, and then come back again and again and again. So it's very cool to see him still going, like, absolute machine. And then just up the road as well, we had Alex Yee. I can't quite believe this. Second quickest Brit of all time here from a triathlete in his second marathon only. What an absolute freak of a talent. And you've probably seen his YouTube series. Him, and we got Phil Sessman coming in as well. He smashed it as well with a 2:07. Both of those guys have been training together. Emil Kress pacing them. That is a deadly training group right there. And I had a brief chat with those guys before the race in the elite area. And yeah, they're all absolute legends. It's great seeing them smash it. But then on the complete other end of the spectrum, you got me here with a 4-minute K, 5-minute K, 6-minute K, and then at around 28, 29K, that's where I think I've eventually collapsed or staggered off the course. I've been dragged off by some of the officials. I don't actually remember the end, like where it was exactly, but we have these videos here. This is where I've kind of been dragged back by the medical staff to the ambulance, where they're looking after the casualties from the race, and I'm still very, very shaky out of it. But the worst part here was that all I wanted to do was just sit down, lie down. I was exhausted, but they had me keep moving. And they said the reason for this is because my brain had been starved of so much oxygen, pretty much, that they were worried if I stopped, that's when I could have like a heart attack, or it could be really, really dangerous. So they had me keep moving for like half an hour, so my body just didn't go into complete shock. And they'd taken some tests, like my blood sugar, temperature, all of that stuff was kind of normal. And so they were pretty much saying that I'd pushed so hard that everything, my whole body had fatigued. There wasn't enough oxygen getting to the tissues, the muscles, my brain. And that's why I was effectively running in this zombie state. But a massive shout out to these medical staff, absolute legends here for like looking after me, checking I was all good after. And to my family as well. Obviously they were very worried out there on the course, but they managed to find me and yeah, make sure I was all good.
The insane feeling. It's just hard to know
And there, that was me talking about how it was a very similar feeling to Tokyo Marathon, where I completely passed out at the finish. There though, it came on way later. Like it was only the last 5K when my brain had checked out. At this point, this was like halfway through. So it was, yeah, a whole nother world of pain I was in. And eventually, I guess I'd regained enough consciousness to give a raw race debrief. But basically what I know is that I couldn't have possibly done anything more during this block, during the taper, the prep, all those last kind of sessions. I feel like I did everything right, followed the sort of game plan in the race, I didn't overdo anything. It was actually a pretty sensible, controlled effort, but that sensible pace just ended up being completely flat out. So just one of them where, yeah, maybe have a shit day and then next week I feel fine, who knows. But shout out to everyone for all the cheers on the course, like crazy support. I heard so many Jakes ran to Japan, and yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't deliver, but I'll be back. Got some more marathons on the cards next year. I also just want to give a massive shout out to the sponsors who supported me throughout this Valencia build. So yeah, the end result wasn't there, but I feel like the training effort, the block itself went pretty much as smoothly as it could. And so that was thanks to Nomio with all those speed sessions. Like you've seen the levels just completely raised. Like seems like that lactic threshold has increased. And I think a big part of that is taking those Nomio shots for every session 3 hours before. And it's one of them where you feel like you're redlining, but you can kind of keep it going. Even today, I mean, I was redlining at 5K, like I shouldn't have even made it to 10, but I've somehow got through to 28K. And I feel like that lactic buffer has got to be a part of that. And then obviously Kaizen as well, they predicted me that 2:14. I got defeated by the Kaizen predictor. It's just one of those days, but I feel like throughout the block, it's been very helpful with paces and like knowing what to go out in races and kind of keep track of my fitness. So again, massive shout out to Kaizen for their support. And with Nomio, you can get a discount, so I'll leave a link down below. And again, Kaizen, you get that free trial. So massive shout out to those two for the support in this training block. And of course, I've got to thank the Ran to Japan Army for your support. Crazy throughout this block. Like the channel's just been going mad, absolutely ridiculous growth. But I'll catch you next week. This has been Jake with Ran to Japan. Remember, train harder, not smarter.